Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge of the Endeavour and watched the stars drift past the viewport. Her ship had been exploring space for 3 months now, mapping new systems and looking for signs of life. It was peaceful work, and Elena liked it that way. "Captain, we have something on sensors," said Lieutenant Chen from his station. 3 ships approaching fast." Elena walked over to look at the screen. The ships were large and covered in strange patterns that glowed with purple light. She had never seen designs like that before. "Open a channel," Elena ordered. "Let them know we come in peace." The communication officer nodded and sent the message. For a moment there was only silence. Then the screen flickered to life. A tall alien with gray skin and 4 eyes stared back at them. Its face showed nothing but contempt. "You are in Zatharine space," the alien said. Its voice was cold. "Your ship is primitive. You will submit to inspection or be destroyed." Elena felt her jaw tighten. The Endeavour was in neutral space, not anyone's territory. She had checked the star charts 3 times. "We are on a peaceful mission," Elena replied calmly. "We have no intention of causing trouble. We will leave your space immediately." The Zatharine commander made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your technology is an insult to proper civilization. You humans think you belong among the stars, but you are nothing. We will teach you your place." Before Elena could respond, the Zatharine ships opened fire. Red energy beams slammed into the Endeavour's shields. The entire ship shook violently. People fell from their chairs. Alarms screamed throughout the bridge. "Return fire," Elena shouted. "Get us out of here!" The Endeavour's weapons fired back, but the shots seemed to bounce off the Zatharine shields like raindrops. Another barrage hit the ship. This time Elena heard the terrible sound of metal tearing. The lights on the bridge flickered and went dark. Emergency red lighting kicked in. "Engineering reports critical damage," someone called out. "We've lost main power. Life support is on backup." Elena gripped her command chair. "How many casualties?" There was a terrible pause. 17 dead, Captain, including Chief Engineer Morrison. Elena closed her eyes for just a moment. Morrison had been with her for 5 years. He had a wife and 2 children back on Earth. Now she would have to write them a letter she never wanted to write. The Zatharine commander appeared on the screen again. "This is what happens to primitives who venture where they do not belong. Your technology is pathetic. Your shields are like paper. Your weapons are toys. If we see another human ship in this sector, we will not be so merciful." The 3 alien ships turned and flew away, leaving the Endeavour drifting in space like a wounded animal. For hours, the crew worked in desperate silence. They patched holes in the hull with whatever they could find. They rerouted power through damaged systems. The ship's doctor, Sarah Chen, moved through the corridors treating the injured and covering the dead with white sheets. Elena walked through the damaged sections of her ship. She saw the burned consoles and the holes in the walls where the Zatharine weapons had punched through. She saw the faces of her crew, some crying, some just staring at nothing with empty eyes. In engineering, she found Morrison's assistant, a young man named David, trying to repair the main reactor. His hands were shaking as he worked. "We can get her running again, Captain," David said without looking up. "It won't be pretty, but we can make it home." "Good work, David," Elena said quietly. She put a hand on his shoulder. "Morrison would be proud." David stopped working and turned to look at her. There were tears on his face. "They didn't have to do this. We weren't threatening them. We were just exploring." "I know," Elena said. She felt anger burning in her chest, hot and fierce. "I know." It took 3 days to get the engines working well enough to move. The journey back to Earth took 6 weeks instead of the usual 3. Every day, Elena sat in her captain's chair and thought about what had happened. She thought about the 17 people who had died. She thought about the Zatharine commander's face and his words. Primitives. Pathetic. Toys. When the Endeavour finally limped into Earth orbit, news cameras and military ships surrounded them immediately. The footage of the attack had been sent ahead. Everyone on Earth had seen what the Zatharine had done. Elena stood before the United Defense Council 2 days later. The room was full of admirals and generals and politicians. They all wanted answers. "Captain Voss," said Admiral Marcus Chen, "tell us everything." Elena told them about the attack. She told them about Morrison and the other 16 crew members who had died. She told them about the Zatharine commander's words and how he had laughed at human technology. When she finished, the room was silent. Then Admiral Chen spoke again. His voice was hard as steel. They called us primitives, he said. They said our technology was pathetic. They killed our people and left us to drift in space. He stood up and looked around the room. I say we show them what primitives can do when you make them angry. The other admirals nodded. One of them, a woman named General Rodriguez, leaned forward. We need a response. Not revenge, but a statement. We need to build something that will make every aggressive species in this galaxy think twice before they attack humans again. What do you have in mind? Someone asked. Admiral Chen smiled, but it was not a kind smile. We build a ship. Not just any ship. We build something they have never seen before. Something that will make them understand that humanity does not forgive easily. Elena felt something stir in her chest. Hope, maybe. Or perhaps it was something darker. What kind of ship? The most dangerous one ever created, Chen replied. And Captain Voss, you are going to command it. The meeting room deep inside Earth's military headquarters was packed with people. Scientists, engineers, military officers, and government officials filled every seat. On the large screen at the front of the room, Admiral Chen displayed images of the damaged Endeavour and the faces of the 17 dead crew members. Ladies and gentlemen, Chen began, for too long, humanity has been content to explore peacefully. We built our ships for science, not war. But the galaxy has shown us that peace alone is not enough. The Zathrene attacked us without provocation. They killed our people. They called us primitives. He paused and looked around the room. They made a mistake. They thought we would accept their cruelty and hide in fear. Instead, we are going to show them what humans do best. We adapt, we overcome. We build. Chen pressed a button and a new image appeared. It was a ship design, but unlike any ship humanity had ever built. It was massive and covered with weapons. It looked angry. This is Project Retribution, Chen continued. We are going to build a ship that will protect humanity and send a message to every hostile species out there. Attack us and we will respond with overwhelming force. A woman in the front row raised her hand. She was young, maybe 30, with dark hair tied back in a simple ponytail. Admiral, I am Dr. Sarah Kim. I work in quantum physics at MIT. That design shows fusion reactors, but the power output seems impossible with current technology. Chen smiled. That is exactly why you are here, Dr. Kim. We need people who can make the impossible possible. Your research on high-density fusion reactions caught our attention. We need those engines and we need them to work. Dr. Kim looked at the design again. Elena could see her mind working, calculating probabilities and solutions. I would need full access to military research facilities and unlimited funding. You have both, Chen replied. A man in a military uniform stood up. He was built like a tank with scars on his face and hands. Commander James Rodriguez, Weapons Development. Admiral, this ship has more weapon systems than any capital ship in human history. The power requirements alone would drain the reactors in minutes. Which is why we need Dr. Kim's new engines, Chen said. And why we need you, Commander. You have designed weapons that pushed every safety regulation we have. Now I am giving you permission to ignore those regulations. Make weapons that will terrify our enemies, Rodriguez grinned. It was the smile of a man who had been waiting his whole life for this moment. When do I start? Today, Chen replied. A thin man in the back raised his hand nervously. He wore thick glasses and a shirt with coffee stains. Kenji Yamamoto, Artificial Intelligence Research. Admiral, I see in these plans that you want a tactical AI system, but military AI is heavily restricted. The algorithms I have been developing are considered too dangerous for deployment. Chen nodded. I know about your work, Mr. Yamamoto. I also know that you have been developing a full tactical intelligence system in secret. Normally that would get you arrested. Today it makes you the most valuable person in this room. We need your AI. We need it to coordinate every system on this ship in real time. Yamamoto looked shocked. How did you know about Athena? We know everything, Mr. Yamamoto. The question is, will you help us? Yamamoto pushed his glasses up his nose. What you're asking for goes against every safety protocol. A true AI with military control could be dangerous. Not as dangerous as being defenseless, Elena spoke up from her seat. Everyone turned to look at her. I was there, Mr. Yamamoto. I watched 17 of my crew die because our technology was not good enough. I watched an alien commander laugh at us. If your AI can prevent that from ever happening again, then we need to take that risk. Yamamoto looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. I will do it. But I want full control over the AI development. No military oversight, no committees. Just me and my team. Agreed, Chen said immediately. For the next hour, more people were introduced. Structural engineers who specialized in advanced materials, shield technicians who had radical new ideas, weapons experts who had been told their designs were too destructive to build. All of them had one thing in common. They were the best in their fields, and they were angry about what had happened to the Endeavor. After the meeting, Elena found herself in a small office with Admiral Chen and General Rodriguez. The general was a stern woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Captain Voss, Rodriguez began. You understand what we are asking of you? This ship will be a weapon. Its purpose is to intimidate and, if necessary, destroy enemy vessels. I understand, Elena replied. You were a science officer before you became a captain. Rodriguez continued. You dedicated your career to peaceful exploration. Can you command a warship? Elena thought about Morrison. She thought about the young pilot who had died at his station, and the doctor who had been killed trying to save others. She thought about the Zathrene commander's face. General, I became a captain to explore the stars and make contact with other civilizations peacefully, Elena said quietly. But I also took an oath to protect my crew and my species. The Zathrene taught me that sometimes peace is not enough. Sometimes you need to show strength. Yes, I can command this ship. Rodriguez studied her face for a moment, then nodded. Good, because you are going to need to be strong. This project will take months of intense work. The crew you select will need to trust you completely, and when we are done, you will take this ship into space and show the galaxy what humanity is capable of. Chen pulled out a datapad and handed it to Elena. This contains everything we know about the Zathrene military, their allies, and other potentially hostile species. Study it, learn their tactics, find their weaknesses. Elena took the pad. When do we start construction? The facility is already being prepared, Chen replied. We are calling it Titan Forge. It is hidden in Saturn's rings, far from prying eyes. In 1 week, you and the entire team will transfer there. From that moment on, you will have one mission. Build the most dangerous ship humanity has ever created. What are we calling her? Elena asked. Chen smiled. The Prometheus Rising. In ancient mythology, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity. The gods punished him for it, but humans used that fire to build civilization. The Zathrene think they are gods. We are going to steal their fire and use it to burn them. Elena looked at the ship design on her datapad. It was brutal and powerful, nothing like the peaceful exploration vessel she had commanded. But as she stared at it, she felt something growing inside her. Not just anger, but determination. The Zathrene had started this. Humanity would finish it. 1 week, she said. We will be ready. The Titan Forge facility floated hidden among Saturn's rings, a massive construction station that had been built in secret over the past decade. Elena stood in the observation deck and watched as hundreds of workers in spacesuits moved across, the skeletal frame of what would become the Prometheus Rising. It is bigger than I expected, Dr. Kim said beside her. The physicist had dark circles under her eyes from lack of sleep, but her voice was excited. The reactor housing alone is 3 times the size of a standard capital ship engine room. Will your fusion system work? Elena asked. Dr. Kim smiled. It will work. I have been running simulations for 72 hours straight. The problem with conventional fusion reactors is that everyone tries to play it safe. They use magnetic containment fields that are too weak, fuel mixtures that are too stable. They are afraid of pushing the limits. And you are not afraid? Elena said. Oh, I am terrified, Dr. Kim admitted. But humans did not get to space by playing it safe. My reactors use a triple-core design with plasma temperatures that would make most engineers run away screaming. The containment fields operate at 98% of their maximum capacity. If something goes wrong, the whole reactor section could explode. Elena raised an eyebrow. That does not sound reassuring. But it works, Dr. Kim continued enthusiastically. The power output is incredible. 3 times more energy than comparable alien technology. With that much power, we can run every system on this ship simultaneously and still have energy to spare. The aliens build efficient engines. We built powerful ones. Over the next weeks, Elena watched the ship take shape. The hull was unlike anything in human naval architecture. Commander Rodriguez had designed it using a carbon nanotube weave that could absorb and redistribute impact force. The outer layers contained millions of microscopic repair drones that could patch holes and reinforce damaged sections automatically. Traditional armor is stupid, Rodriguez explained one day as they inspected the hull construction. It just sits there and takes damage. Our armor fights back. It adapts. If the enemy hits one section repeatedly, the repair drones will reinforce that area and make it stronger. What about weapons? Elena asked. Rodriguez's eyes lit up. Follow me. They took a transport shuttle to the weapons deck. Elena stepped out and stopped. The entire level was filled with weapons systems. Railguns lined the walls. Missile tubes covered every available surface. Plasma cannons were being installed by teams of engineers. Energy beam emitters, kinetic projectile launchers, and systems Elena did not even recognize filled the space. Most alien ships specialize, Rodriguez explained. They have beam weapons or missiles or plasma cannons. They pick one or two types and optimize for those. We said no to that idea. The Prometheus Rising carries everything. If one weapon does not work against an enemy, we try another. And another. We keep hitting them until something breaks. Elena walked along the weapon deck. This seems excessive. Excessive is the point, Rodriguez replied. When this ship enters a battle, I want the enemy to look at their sensors and feel fear. I want them to see the weapon signatures and realize they made a terrible mistake. Humans do not build elegant weapons, Captain. We build weapons that work. In another section of the ship, Kenji Yamamoto worked in a sealed laboratory filled with computer equipment. Elena had to go through 3 security checkpoints just to visit him. When she finally entered, she found him talking to a wall of screens displaying lines of code. Mr. Yamamoto? Elena called out. He turned around, startled. Captain Voss, I apologize. I was discussing strategy protocols with Athena. The AI is active? Elena asked, surprised. In a limited capacity, Yamamoto said. Right now she is still learning, but she is already showing remarkable capabilities. Watch this. He typed something on a keyboard. Immediately, a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. It showed the Prometheus Rising surrounded by enemy ships. The simulation ran, and Elena watched as the ship coordinated its weapons with perfect precision. Missiles fired in patterns that herded enemy ships into kill zones. Railguns tracked multiple targets simultaneously. The defensive systems worked together like a living organism. Athena can coordinate every system on this ship at once, Yamamoto explained. Human crews need time to process information and give orders. Athena processes information in microseconds. She sees patterns and opportunities that humans would miss, and she learns from every engagement. Is she dangerous? Elena asked quietly. Yamamoto was silent for a moment. Any weapon is dangerous, Captain. The question is whether the danger is controlled. I have built safeguards into her programming. She cannot harm humans. She cannot take control of the ship without authorization. She is a tool, not a commander. But she is more than just a computer, Elena said. Yes, Yamamoto admitted. She is. I have created something that thinks and learns. It keeps me awake at night sometimes, wondering if I have made a mistake. But then I remember why we are building this ship. The Zathrene attacked us because they thought we were weak. Athena will help ensure that never happens again. Months passed. The Prometheus Rising grew from a skeleton to a complete vessel. Engineers installed the last hull plates. Technicians activated the weapon systems one by one. Dr. Kim's fusion reactors came online, flooding the ship with power. Elena walked through the completed corridors and felt awe. This was not a ship built for exploration or peace. This was a ship built for war. Every surface, every system, every weapon was designed with one purpose in mind: to make humanity's enemies regret their aggression. The crew began arriving. 3,000 men and women, all volunteers. Many were survivors of attacks by hostile aliens. Others were relatives of people who had been killed. All of them shared the same determination. They wanted to show the galaxy that humanity could not be pushed around. Elena met with each department head personally. The weapons officer was a veteran who had lost her entire squadron in a pirate attack. The chief engineer was Morrison's former assistant, David, who had begged for the position. The medical officer had treated the wounded from the Endeavour attack. "We are ready, Captain," Admiral Chen told her during a video call. "The Prometheus Rising is complete. It is time for the shakedown cruise. Elena stood on the bridge of her new ship. It was 3 times larger than the Endeavor's bridge, with dozens of stations and screens displaying information. In the center of everything was a holographic projector, where Athena could appear. "All crew, this is the captain," Elena said over the ship-wide communication system. "Today we take the Prometheus rising out for the first time. We are not just testing a ship, we are testing a promise. A promise that humanity will never again be called primitive, that we will never again watch our friends die while enemies laugh at us. This ship is our answer to the galaxy. We are here, we are strong, and we will not be ignored." The crew cheered. Elena took her seat in the command chair. "Helm, take us out," she ordered. The Prometheus Rising moved forward, leaving Titan Forge behind. Its engines burned bright in the darkness of space, and the most dangerous ship humanity had ever created began its journey. The first week of testing was a disaster. Elena sat in her ready room reading damage reports with growing frustration. During a weapons test, 3 railguns had fired simultaneously and overloaded the power grid. Half the ship had lost power for 20 minutes. In another test, the missile systems had launched correctly, but the targeting AI had confused friendly drones with enemy targets. "We built this ship too fast," Commander Rodriguez admitted during a meeting with the senior staff. "We put so many systems together that they are fighting each other for power and processing time." Dr. Kim nodded in agreement. "The reactors are producing enough energy, but the distribution network cannot handle the load when multiple systems activate at once. We need to redesign the power management system." "We don't have time for a redesign," Elena said. "The Defense Council wants results. They want us to begin patrols within a month." "Then we will fail," Yamamoto said bluntly. Everyone turned to look at him. "Captain, this ship was built with anger, not wisdom. We put every weapon we could think of on it. We made the reactors as powerful as possible. We crammed in technology without thinking about how it would all work together. The result is a ship that is dangerous to its own crew." Elena felt anger rising in her chest, but she forced it down. Yamamoto was right. They had been so focused on making something powerful that they had forgotten to make it functional. "What do you suggest?" she asked. "Give Athena more control," Yamamoto replied. "Right now the crew is trying to coordinate hundreds of systems manually. It is too much. But Athena can manage it. She can balance power distribution, coordinate weapons fire, and adjust defensive systems in real time. Let her do what she was designed to do." "That means giving an AI control of a warship," the weapons officer said nervously. "What if something goes wrong?" "Something is already wrong," Yamamoto pointed out. "We either trust Athena, or we accept that this ship will never reach its potential." Elena made her decision. "Do it, give Athena full tactical control. But I want manual overrides on everything. If I give an order, the systems respond to me, not the AI." "Understood," Yamamoto said. Over the next 2 weeks, the crew learned to work with Athena instead of fighting against her. The AI's holographic form appeared on the bridge, a simple geometric pattern of blue light. Her voice was calm and professional. "Captain, I am detecting inefficient power usage in the port weapons array," Athena would say. "Recommend shutting down 3 railguns to maintain optimal energy levels." At first, the crew resented taking orders from a computer, but gradually they began to see the benefits. Systems that had been clumsy and slow became smooth and coordinated. The ship began to feel less like a collection of parts and more like a single unified weapon. "We are ready for a combat simulation," Elena announced one morning. "Athena, load simulation program Delta 7. The bridge screens lit up with tactical data. The simulation showed the Prometheus rising facing 10 enemy cruisers in an asteroid field. It was a scenario designed to be nearly impossible to win. "Begin simulation," Elena ordered. What happened next amazed her. The Prometheus rising moved through the asteroids like a dancer. Athena calculated trajectories that seemed impossible, using the asteroids as cover while coordinating weapon strikes with perfect timing. Railguns fired through gaps between rocks. Missiles used the asteroids to hide their approach. In less than 5 minutes, all 10 enemy ships were destroyed. "Simulation complete," Athena announced. 0 damage sustained. The bridge crew sat in stunned silence. Then someone started clapping, and soon everyone was cheering. They had finally found the ship's true potential. "Well done, Athena. Elena said with a smile. Well done, everyone. 2 days later, the Prometheus Rising was conducting deep space maneuvers when Athena spoke urgently. Captain, I am detecting 3 ships on an intercept course. Configuration matches Zathrene military vessels. Elena felt her heart rate increase. Battle stations. All crew to combat positions. The bridge transformed as crew members rushed to their stations. Red alert lights bathed everything in crimson. Elena pulled up the tactical display and saw the 3 Zathrene ships approaching. They were the same design as the ones that had attacked the Endeavor. Open a channel, Elena ordered. The main screen flickered and a familiar face appeared. It was the same Zathrene commander who had attacked her ship months ago. His 4 eyes widened in recognition. You, he said with surprise. The primitive captain from the weak ship. You survived. I did, Elena replied coldly. And I brought friends. The Zathrene commander looked at his instruments, then back at the screen. His expression became amused. You bring 1 ship against 3? You humans truly are stupid. Your last vessel was pathetic. This one will be no different. I am giving you 1 chance, Elena said. Leave now. Do not make me show you what this ship can do. The Zathrene commander laughed, the same cruel laugh Elena had heard in her nightmares. You think you can threaten us? Your technology is primitive. Your weapons are toys. We will destroy you just like we destroyed your last ship. And then we will go to Earth and show your people what happens to species who do not know their place. He cut the transmission. Immediately, all 3 Zathrene ships opened fire. Athena, you have tactical control, Elena said calmly. Show them what we built. What happened next would be talked about in military academies for years to come. The Zathrene expected the same weak ship they had fought before. Instead, they encountered a nightmare. The Prometheus Rising's shields absorbed the first barrage without even flickering. Then the ship moved, accelerating with impossible speed. Athena coordinated every weapon system simultaneously. Railguns fired in a pattern that overwhelmed the Zathrene shields. Plasma cannons melted through armor plating. Missiles weaved through defensive fire like they had minds of their own. But Elena had given Athena specific instructions. Disable, do not destroy. So Athena targeted engines and weapon systems. The first Zathrene ship lost its engines and spun helplessly in space. The second lost all its weapons in a precise strike that left the rest of the ship intact. The third tried to run, but a missile took out its faster-than-light drive. The entire engagement lasted 47 seconds. Elena opened a channel to all 3 ships. The Zathrene commander appeared on screen again, but his arrogance was gone. Now he looked terrified. You called us primitives, Elena said quietly. You said our technology was pathetic. You killed 17 of my crew members and laughed about it. She leaned forward. Now you are going to go back to your collective. You are going to tell them exactly what happened here. Tell them that humanity remembers. Tell them that we do not forgive. And tell them that if they ever attack another human ship, we will not just disable their vessels. We will end them. She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. They were all staring at her with wide eyes. Set course for Earth, Elena ordered. It is time to show the Defense Council what we have accomplished. As the Prometheus Rising jumped to faster-than-light speed, leaving 3 disabled Zathrene ships drifting in space, Elena allowed herself a small smile. The message had been sent. Humanity was no longer prey. News of the encounter spread through space faster than light itself. Within days, every major civilization in the galaxy knew about the human ship that had defeated 3 Zathrene vessels in less than a minute. Some species sent congratulations. Others sent warnings. But the Zathrene sent a declaration of war. Admiral Chen called Elena to a secure video conference. His face was grim. The Zathrene Collective has assembled a fleet, he said. Intelligence reports 50 warships, including their heavy dreadnought. They are calling it the largest military response in their history. Where are they headed? Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. They are hunting for you, Captain. They want to destroy the Prometheus Rising and restore their reputation. Their pride is wounded. Elena looked at the tactical map showing the fleet's position. 50 ships against 1. The odds were insane. We should call for reinforcements, Commander Rodriguez suggested. Earth has 30 warships in range. We could assemble a fleet of our own. No, Elena said firmly. This is exactly what we built this ship for. To show hostile species that they cannot bully humanity anymore. If we run or hide behind a fleet, the message is lost. We fight alone. Captain, Dr. Kim said nervously. The reactors can handle a sustained fight, but 50 ships? That is a lot of firepower. Then we better not let them all shoot at us at the same time, Elena replied. Athena, analysis? The AI's holographic form appeared. The Zathrene fleet is using a standard battle formation. They are confident in their numbers. I calculate a 73% chance of victory if we use unconventional tactics. And if we fight them conventionally? Elena asked. Less than 5%, Athena replied. Then unconventional it is, Elena said. Set course for the Amber Nebula. We will make our stand there. The Amber Nebula was a massive cloud of gas and dust that interfered with sensors and communications. Most ships avoided it because it made navigation difficult. The Prometheus Rising arrived 3 days before the Zathrene fleet and prepared for battle. Elena walked through the ship, talking to her crew. She saw determination in their faces, but also fear. They were about to face overwhelming odds. I know you are scared, she told them in the mess hall. I am scared too. But remember why we are here. Remember the Endeavor. Remember everyone who has died because hostile species thought humans were weak. Today we prove them wrong. Today we show the galaxy what happens when you push humanity too far. The crew cheered, but Elena could see the worry in their eyes. 50 ships was a lot, no matter how advanced the Prometheus Rising was. The Zathrene fleet arrived right on schedule. They emerged from faster-than-light travel in a massive formation. Their ship stretched across space like a wall of metal and weapons. Elena watched them on the main screen and felt her stomach tighten. Incoming transmission, the communications officer announced. A new Zathrene appeared on screen. This one wore elaborate armor decorated with metals. His 4 eyes burned with rage. I am Admiral Krell of the Zathrene Collective, he announced. You have humiliated our forces and killed our warriors. For this crime you will be destroyed. Your ship will become debris. Your crew will become dust, and your pathetic species will learn to fear the Zathrene forever. Admiral Krell, Elena replied calmly, you have brought 50 ships to fight one. You bring a dreadnought to crush a single vessel, and yet you feel the need to make threats. That tells me you are afraid. Krell's face twisted with anger. We fear nothing, especially not primitive humans with one stolen ship. This ship was not stolen, Elena said. We built it. With human hands and human minds and human determination. You think your numbers will save you, but you are about to learn an important lesson about humanity. We do not fight fair. She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. All hands, this is the captain. Battle stations. Athena, you have tactical control. Make them regret coming here. The Zathrene fleet attacked. 50 ships firing simultaneously created a light show that filled space. Energy beams and missiles converged on the Prometheus Rising's position. But the human ship was not there anymore. Athena had calculated the exact moment to move. The Prometheus Rising dove into the densest part of the nebula, where sensors could not track it clearly. The Zathrene weapons hit empty space and each other. Enemy fleet is confused, Athena reported. They are having difficulty maintaining formation in the nebula. Recommend hit-and-run tactics. Execute, Elena ordered. The Prometheus Rising burst from the nebula gas like a predator attacking prey. Its weapons fired in perfect coordination. 3 Zathrene ships exploded before they could react. Then the human ship vanished back into the gas. Admiral Krell screamed orders at his fleet. They spread out, trying to cover more space. But that was exactly what Athena had predicted. Divided, the ships were vulnerable. Again and again, the Prometheus Rising struck. It would appear, destroy or disable several ships, then disappear before the Zathrene could respond. Athena used the nebula like a tool, calculating exactly where to attack for maximum effect. But the Zathrene were learning. They adapted their formations and started using wide-area weapons that filled the nebula with explosions. One blast caught the Prometheus Rising directly. The ship shook violently. Alarm screamed. Hull breach on deck 7, someone shouted. We have casualties. Shields down to 40%, another voice called out. Elena gripped her chair. They had destroyed or disabled 20 ships, but 30 remained. And now the Zathrene dreadnought was moving forward. It was twice the size of any other ship in the fleet, covered in weapons and heavy armor. Captain, Athena said, the dreadnought's weapons are charging. If they fire, our shields will not hold. Elena watched the massive ship approach. It was now or never. Either they ran or they did something crazy. How much power do we have in reserve? Elena asked. Approximately 60% of maximum capacity. Dr. Kim replied from engineering. Redirect everything to engines and forward shields, Elena ordered. Athena, I need a direct course to that dreadnought. The bridge went silent. Everyone understood what she was planning. Captain, Rodriguez said carefully. That is a suicide run. No, Elena replied. It is a gamble.
Athena, what are the odds the antimatter beam will work?
There was a pause. The weapon is experimental. It has never been tested in combat. Probability of success is 47%. Better than zero, Elena said. All hands, brace for impact. We are going straight at them. The Prometheus Rising's engines burned at maximum power. The ship accelerated directly toward the massive dreadnought. The Zathreen could not believe what they were seeing. The human ship was charging them head-on. The dreadnought fired. Its massive energy beam tore into the Prometheus Rising's forward shields. The entire ship shook. Systems overloaded. People were thrown from their seats. But the ship kept moving forward. Shields failing, someone shouted. Hold together. Elena whispered to her ship. Just a little longer. They were almost at point-blank range now. The dreadnought filled the entire viewport. Elena could see its weapons charging for another shot that would finish them. Now Athena, Elena screamed. Fire everything! The antimatter beam was Dr. Kim's secret project, a weapon that focused pure destructive energy into a beam smaller than a human hand. It required every bit of power the reactors could produce. It existed for only 3 seconds. But those 3 seconds were enough. The beam punched through the dreadnought's shields like they were made of paper. It cut through the armor and into the ship's core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire dreadnought split in half. Both pieces exploded in massive fireballs. The remaining Zathreen ship stopped firing. They had just watched their most powerful vessel get destroyed by a single human ship. Admiral Krell's voice came over the communications channel, but it was no longer confident. It was terrified. Retreat, he said simply. All ships retreat immediately. The Zathreen fleet turned and ran. They jumped to faster than light speed and vanished, leaving debris and disabled ships behind. Elena slumped in her command chair. They had done it. Against 50 ships they had won. Damage report, she said weakly. Hull breaches on 3 decks. 27 casualties. Main reactor is operating at 30% capacity, but we are alive. Elena closed her eyes. 27 dead. 27 more names to add to the memorial. But they had proven something important. Humanity could not be bullied anymore. The Prometheus Rising limped back to Earth orbit. The journey took 2 weeks because half the faster-than-light drive was damaged. Elena spent those weeks visiting the wounded in medical bay and writing letters to the families of the dead. 27 more people had given their lives. 27 more reasons to remember that victory always came with a price. When they finally arrived at Earth, thousands of ships surrounded them. Military vessels, civilian craft, news shuttles, all of them waiting to see the ship that had defeated 50 Zathreen warships. Elena stood at the viewport and watched the planet below. Somewhere down there, families were receiving her letters and crying over loved ones who would never come home. Captain, the communications officer called out. Admiral Chen is requesting a video conference. Chen's face appeared on the screen. He was smiling, but his eyes were sad. He understood the cost of their victory. Captain Voss, the entire world is celebrating. You have done something incredible. You have shown every hostile species in the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with. We paid for that message with 27 lives, Elena replied quietly, and 17 more died on the Endeavor. That is 44 people who will never see their families again. I know, Chen said, and I wish I could tell you that their sacrifice will mean no one else has to die. But that would be a lie. The galaxy is a dangerous place. There will be more fights, more casualties. But because of what you did, maybe there will be fewer. Maybe some species will think twice before attacking humans. That has to mean something. Before Elena could respond, another message came through. This one had the seal of the Galactic Council, the organization that governed relations between the major civilizations. They are requesting your presence at an emergency session, Chen said. Every member species wants to meet the captain of the Prometheus Rising. 3 days later, Elena took a shuttle down to the council station that orbited a neutral moon. She wore her full military uniform, and the medal for the 17 crew members lost on the Endeavor hung over her heart. The council chamber was enormous. Representatives from dozens of species sat in a circular arrangement. Elena recognized some of them from intelligence reports. The Vren Collective, masters of energy weapons. The Korath Empire, known for their powerful shields. The Sisterhood of Zarn, peaceful traders who controlled most commerce in this sector. And in one corner, looking smaller than usual, sat 3 Zathreen representatives. The council speaker, a tall alien with blue skin and multiple arms, stood to address the chamber. We gather today to discuss the recent conflict between the human species and the Zathreen Collective. The humans, despite being one of the youngest spacefaring civilizations, have demonstrated military capability that has shocked the galaxy. Murmurs filled the chamber. Helena stood calmly, her hands behind her back as various species debated what she represented. They are dangerous, one representative said. They built a warship more powerful than anything we have seen in decades. What is to stop them from building more? From conquering their neighbors? They defended themselves, another argued. The Zathreen attacked first, unprovoked. The humans simply responded. The speaker raised a hand for silence. Captain Voss, you may address the council. Elena stepped forward. Every eye in the chamber focused on her. She thought about Morrison and the others who had died. She thought about the crew of the Prometheus Rising, wounded but still standing. She thought about humanity, small and young compared to these ancient civilizations trying to find its place among the stars. Members of the council, she began. 6 months ago, my ship was attacked without warning. We were on a peaceful exploration mission. We threatened no one. We made no demands. And yet we were fired upon. 17 of my crew were killed. The attacking commander called us primitives. He said our technology was pathetic. He left us to die in space. She paused and looked around the chamber.
Humanity is young.
That is true. We have only been traveling the stars for a few generations. Many of you have civilizations that are thousands of years old. Your technology is elegant and efficient. You have learned to build ships that work in harmony with the universe. But we humans, she continued, we learned something different. We learned to survive. For millions of years on our homeworld, we were not the strongest species. We were not the fastest. We did not have claws or armor or venom. What we had was stubbornness. When something threatened us, we did not run or hide. We adapted. We overcame. We built tools and weapons and kept fighting until we won. The Zathreen made a mistake, Elena said, her voice growing stronger. They thought that because we were young, we were weak. They thought they could attack us without consequences. So we showed them what humans do when threatened. We built the Prometheus Rising, not because we want to conquer anyone, not because we seek to dominate the galaxy, but because we refuse to be victims. She looked directly at the Zathreen representatives. They would not meet her eyes. We do not want war, Elena continued. We want peace. We want to explore and learn and trade with other species. But peace does not mean weakness. It does not mean we will accept being attacked or bullied or called primitive. The Prometheus Rising is a promise. Attack humanity and we will respond with everything we have. The chamber was silent. Then the Vren representative stood. Captain Voss, your words are noted. But many here fear what your species might become. You have built one ship of incredible power. What is to stop you from building 100? 1,000? Elena nodded. That is a fair question. Let me answer it clearly. Humanity could build more ships like the Prometheus Rising. We have the knowledge and the resources, but we choose not to. One ship is enough to send our message. We are building new vessels now, but they are exploration ships and cargo haulers and science vessels, ships of peace, not war. The Prometheus Rising will remain, she continued. It will patrol human space and protect our people, but it will not be used for aggression or conquest. It exists only to ensure that what happened to the Endeavor never happens again. The council speaker considered her words. And if another species attacks humans, what then? Then we respond appropriately, Elena said simply. We defend ourselves. We protect our people. But we do not seek revenge or domination. We seek only safety and respect. The vote took 3 hours. In the end, the council officially recognized humanity's right to defend itself. They also extended an invitation for humans to join the council as full members. It was unprecedented for such a young species, but the vote was nearly unanimous. Only the Zathreen representatives abstained. Elena returned to the Prometheus Rising the next day. The crew had been making repairs and the ship looked better. Not perfect, but better. She called them all together in the main hangar bay. The galaxy knows about us now, she told them. Some species respect us. Some fear us. Some are still deciding what to think. But all of them know one thing. Humanity is not weak. She paused and looked at the faces around her. We lost people in this fight. Good people who deserved to go home to their families. Their names are now part of this ship. They will be remembered every time the Prometheus Rising flies. And their sacrifice means that maybe, just maybe, other humans won't have to die the way they did. We are not conquerors, Elena continued. We are not monsters. We are defenders. We are the line between those who would harm humanity and those we protect, and we will hold that line no matter what it costs. The crew saluted. Elena saluted back. Later, standing alone on the bridge, Elena looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Zathreen were licking their wounds. Other species were reassessing their views on humanity. The galaxy was changing because of what they had done. On her command console, she pulled up the memorial file. It now held 44 names, 44 reasons why the Prometheus Rising existed. She read each name slowly, committing them to memory. The ship's computer chimed. A new message from Earth. Construction had begun on a new generation of ships. Not warships, but vessels designed for science and exploration and trade. Humanity was moving forward, building a future among the stars, but the Prometheus Rising would remain. A guardian, a protector, a reminder that humanity had earned its place in the galaxy not through conquest or dominance, but through determination and the refusal to be destroyed. Elena smiled and gave the order. Helm, set course for the outer rim. We have stars to protect. The Prometheus Rising turned and flew into the darkness, its weapons quiet but ready. Its mission clear. Humanity would explore the galaxy in peace. But if anyone threatened that peace, they would face the most dangerous ship ever built, and they would learn what the Zathreen had learned. Never underestimate humanity.